Welcome to Dreamy Tales, a place where gentle, relaxing stories will guide you into a deep sleep. On this channel, we'll be sharing soothing stories to help you unwind and forget the worries of the day. If you enjoy these peaceful moments, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you won't miss any of our bedtime tales. Let's create a space of relaxation together each night. Now, before we dive into tonight's story, let's take a few moments to relax your body and mind. Find a comfortable spot to sit or lie down. Gently close your eyes and take a deep breath. Inhale slowly, feeling the fresh air filling your lungs, and slowly exhale, letting the tension in your body gradually melt away. Repeat this 3 more times. With each breath, feel yourself becoming more relaxed and ready to enter the magical world of stories. Now, loosen your shoulders, gently massage your face, and release any remaining tension. Pay attention to any areas in your body that still feel tight, maybe in your neck, back, or legs, and gently let them relax. Next, we'll do a short guided visualization. Imagine yourself in a beautiful garden under the night sky, with the soft moonlight shining down. You can hear the rustling of leaves in the breeze, the sound of water flowing gently in the distance. Feel the cool breeze brushing against your face. Now that your body and mind are relaxed, let's step into tonight's story. But before we begin, remind yourself that you deserve these moments of relaxation, and let go of all worries as you listen to each word. And now, as you are fully relaxed, let's begin our journey into tonight's tale. Allow my words to guide you into a world of dreams and serenity. Relax and listen slowly. Settle in, take a deep breath, and let your worries slip away, like soft clouds drifting across a quiet sky. Tonight, I'm going to take you on a journey, a gentle, magical adventure, to a place where the stars don't just shine, they sing. Close your eyes if you'd like, or keep them open to imagine the twinkling lights we're about to explore. This is the story of Journey to the Land of Twinkling Stars, and it begins with a very special someone named Eli. Eli was a small boy, no taller than a sunflower in full bloom, with eyes that sparkled like the first drops of morning dew. His hair was a tousled mess of curls, the kind that seemed to dance in the breeze, even when the air was still. Eli lived in a cozy little house at the edge of a sleepy village called Lumora, where the nights were so clear you could see every star in the sky, like a blanket of diamonds draped over the world. But what made Eli special wasn't his home or his village, it was his heart. Eli had a heart full of wonder, the kind that made him ask questions like, what do the stars whisper to each other at night? Or, do they ever get lonely up there, so far away? Now, Lumora was a place where everyone loved the stars. The villagers would gather each evening in the town square, sitting on soft blankets, sipping warm chamomile tea, and telling stories about the constellations. Eli's favorite was the tale of the great star weaver, a mythical figure who, long ago, wove the night sky with threads of light, giving each star a voice to sing its own song. One day, Eli would say, his voice barely above a whisper, I'm going to find the great star weaver and ask her to teach me how to listen to the stars. Eli's family was as warm as a summer afternoon. His mother, Lila, was a baker who made bread so soft it felt like biting into a cloud. She had a laugh that sounded like wind chimes, and she always told Eli, "Your dreams are bigger than the sky, my love. Never stop chasing them." His father, Amos, was a toy maker who crafted tiny wooden ships and spinning tops that seemed to hum with magic. He'd wink at Eli and say, "The stars are just toys the universe plays with. Maybe one day you'll sail among them." And then there was Eli's little sister, Mira, who was only 4, but had a giggle that could make even the grumpiest cat smile. Mira loved to follow Eli everywhere, clutching her stuffed bunny and asking, "Eli, can I come to the stars with you?" One evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon and painted the sky in shades of lavender and gold, Eli sat on the hill behind his house, staring up at the first stars peeking out. He had a habit of talking to them as if they could hear him. "Hello, stars," he said softly, his voice blending with the rustle of the grass. "I know you're up there, singing your songs. I wish I could hear them. I wish I could visit you." He sighed, a little puff of air then carried his longing into the night. That's when something extraordinary happened. A soft breeze tickled Eli's cheek, carrying with it a faint, silvery sound, like the tinkling of tiny bells. He sat up, his heart skipping a beat. "What was that?" he whispered, looking around. The sound came again, clearer this time, and it seemed to come from the sky itself. Eli squinted, his eyes scanning the stars, and there, just above the horizon, was a single star glowing brighter than the rest. It pulsed gently, like a heartbeat, and the sound grew stronger, weaving into a melody that felt like a lullaby. Eli's breath caught in his throat. "Is that you?" he asked the star. The melody hummed in response, soft and inviting, as if saying, "Come find me." Eli's heart raced, but not with fear, with excitement. He felt a pull, like an invisible thread tugging at his soul, urging him to follow the sound. He scrambled to his feet, his bare toes sinking into the cool grass, and ran back to the house, the melody still echoing in his ears. Inside, the house was warm and smelled of fresh bread. Lila was kneading dough, her hands dusted with flour, while Amos whittled a tiny wooden star at the table. Mira was curled up on a rug, her bunny tucked under her chin, half asleep. "Mama, Papa," Eli burst in, his cheeks flushed. "I heard a star. It was singing, and I think it wants me to find it." Lila smiled, wiping her hands on her apron. "A singing star, you say? That sounds like quite a dream, my love." Amos chuckled, holding up the wooden star. "Maybe it's one of these, come to life." But Eli shook his head, his eyes wide with certainty. "No, it was real. I heard it, and it felt important." Mira stirred, rubbing her eyes. "Eli, can I hear the star too?" she mumbled, clutching her bunny tighter. Eli knelt beside her, his voice softening. "Maybe you will, Mira, but first I have to find it." He looked at his parents, his expression earnest. "I know it sounds silly, but I feel like I'm supposed to go, like the stars are calling me." Lila and Amos exchanged a glance, the kind parents share when they know their child is chasing something bigger than themselves. Lila knelt beside Eli, brushing a curl from his forehead. "If the stars are calling you, then you must listen, but promise me you'll be careful. and you'll come back to tell us all about it." Amos nodded, placing the wooden star in Eli's hand. "Take this, just in case you need a little light to guide you." Eli hugged them tightly, his heart swelling with love. He tiptoed to Mira, kissing her forehead. "I'll bring you a star song, Mira," he whispered. She giggled sleepily, and Eli felt a warmth spread through him, like the glow of a candle in a quiet room. That night, Eli packed a small bag with a loaf of his mother's bread, a bottle of water, and the wooden star. He slipped outside, the melody still humming in his mind, guiding him like a compass. The village was asleep, its windows dark, but the sky was alive with light. The bright star pulsed again, and Eli followed its glow, his steps light and sure. As he walked, the world around him began to change. The grass beneath his feet shimmered, as if sprinkled with stardust, and the air grew warm and sweet, like honey. The melody grew louder, wrapping around him like a soft blanket. Before he knew it, Eli was no longer in Lumora. He was standing on a path of glowing stones, each one twinkling like a tiny star. The path stretched into the distance, leading to a horizon where the sky seemed to touch the ground, ablaze with colors, blues, purples, and golds swirling together like a cosmic painting. Eli's eyes widened, but he wasn't afraid. He felt safe, as if the stars themselves were watching over him. "I'm coming," he whispered, clutching the wooden star. The melody hummed in agreement, and Eli took his first step onto the path, his heart full of wonder and possibility. Where was this path leading? What was the singing star trying to show him? Eli didn't know, but he was ready to find out, and so, with a smile as bright as the sky above, he began his journey to the land of twinkling stars. Welcome back, dear friend. I hope you're feeling cozy, maybe wrapped in a soft blanket or sipping something warm. Let's continue our journey with Eli, the little boy with a heart full of wonder, who's following a singing star to a place where the sky is alive with magic. If you're feeling a little anxious or restless, just breathe deeply and let Eli's adventure carry you away, like a gentle stream flowing through a quiet forest. Ready? Let's go. Eli was walking along the path of glowing stones, each one pulsing softly under his feet, as if the ground itself was humming the star's melody. The air around him shimmered with tiny specks of light, like fireflies dancing in a summer night. The sky was a masterpiece, swirling with colors that seemed to shift and breathe, deep indigo fading into soft lavender, with streaks of gold weaving through like threads in a tapestry. Eli's heart felt light, as if he could float right up to the stars if he wanted to. The melody was stronger now, a sweet, lilting tune that made Eli think of his mother's lullabies, or the sound of Mira's laughter. It was comforting, but also exciting, like a promise of something wonderful waiting just ahead. Eli clutched the wooden star his father had given him, its smooth surface warm in his hand. "I'm getting closer," he whispered, his voice blending with the hum of the path. As he walked, the path began to climb, curving gently upward, like a spiral staircase made of light. Eli's steps were steady, his curiosity stronger than any tiredness. Soon, he reached a clearing, and what he saw took his breath away. Before him was a vast, shimmering lake, its surface reflecting the sky so perfectly it looked like a mirror of stars. Tiny ripples danced across the water, each one sending out a soft chime that joined the melody in the air. Around the lake were trees, but not like any Eli had ever seen. Their leaves were made of light, glowing in shades of blue and silver, and they swayed as if dancing to the stars' song. Eli stood at the edge of the lake, his eyes wide. "This is the most beautiful place I've ever seen," he said, his voice barely a whisper. The melody hummed in response, and Eli felt a giggle bubble up inside him. "You're showing me something special, aren't you?" he asked the star, wherever it was. The melody grew brighter, as if nodding yes. That's when Eli noticed something moving near the water's edge. A small, glowing creature, no bigger than a kitten, was hopping from stone to stone. It looked like a puff of light, with delicate wings that shimmered like rainbows. Its eyes were big and round, sparkling with curiosity. "Hello," Eli called softly, not wanting to startle it. The creature paused, tilting its head, then let out a tiny chirp that sounded like a note in the melody. Eli knelt down, holding out his hand. "I'm Eli. I'm following a singing star. Do you know it?" The creature hopped closer, its wings fluttering, and chirped again. It seemed to understand him, and Eli couldn't help but smile. "I'll call you Flicker," he said, because its light flickered like a candle flame. Flicker chirped happily, as if approving of the name, and hopped onto Eli's shoulder, nuzzling his cheek. With Flicker by his side, Eli felt even braver. He looked across the lake, where the path continued, leading to a distant glow that pulsed like the star he'd seen from Lumora. "That's where we're going, isn't it?" he asked Flicker. The creature chirped, and the melody swelled, urging them forward. But as Eli took a step, the ground trembled slightly, and the melody faltered, like a skipped note in a song. Eli froze, his heart thudding. "What was that?" he whispered. Flicker's light dimmed, and the trees around the lake stopped swaying. The air grew heavy, and for the first time, Eli felt a flicker of doubt. The melody returned, but it was softer now, almost pleading. Eli tightened his grip on the wooden star. "Don't worry," he said, more to himself than to Flicker. "We'll figure this out." He noticed a shadow moving across the lake, like a cloud passing over the stars. It wasn't dark or scary, but it felt sad, like a memory of something lost. Eli's heart ached, the way it did when he saw Mira cry, or when his parents looked tired after a long day. "Something's wrong," he said softly. "The star's song isn't as happy as it was." Eli sat by the lake. Flicker curled up beside him and thought about home. He thought about his mother's warm hugs, his father's silly jokes, and Mira's giggles. "Maybe the star needs help," he said, his voice steady. "Maybe that's why it called me." Flicker chirped softly, as if agreeing, and Eli felt a spark of determination. He wasn't just a boy from Lumora anymore. He was a starfarer, and he had a mission. Eli stood, brushing off his knees, and looked at the path ahead. The glow in the distance was still there, but it flickered, like a candle struggling against the wind. "We're going to find you," Eli said to the star, his voice firm but kind. and we're going to make your song happy again." Flicker hopped onto his shoulder, and together, they continued along the path, the melody guiding them like a friend. As they walked, the world around them grew stranger and more wonderful. The path wound through fields of glowing flowers that hummed when Eli brushed past them, and streams of light flowed like rivers, giggling as they splashed against the stones. Eli laughed, his worries easing with each step. "This place is like a dream," he told Flicker, who chirped in delight, but the shadow returned, heavier this time, and the melody wavered again. Eli stopped, his heart racing. In the distance, he saw a figure, a tall, shimmering shape, like a person made of starlight. It wasn't scary, but it felt ancient, like the stories of the great star weaver his village told. The figure raised a hand, and the melody softened, as if asking Eli to listen. Eli took a deep breath, his hand resting on Flicker's soft glow. "I'm not afraid," he whispered. "I'm here to help." The figure seemed to nod, and the path ahead glowed brighter, leading to a place where the stars were so close Eli could almost touch them. He knew he was getting closer to the heart of the land of twinkling stars, and to the secret of the singing stars' song. What was the shadow? Why was the stars' song faltering? Eli didn't have the answers yet, but he had Flicker, the wooden star, and a heart full of courage. And so, with a smile and a skip in his step, he continued his journey, ready to face whatever lay ahead. Hello again, dear friend. I hope you're feeling calm and cozy, ready to drift back into Eli's magical adventure. If your mind is racing, or sleep feels far away, just let these words wrap around you like a soft, warm blanket. We're almost at the end of our journey to the land of twinkling stars, but there's still so much wonder to discover. Let's join Eli and Flicker as they chase the singing star and uncover its secret. Breathe deeply, and let's begin. Eli and Flicker were deep in the land of twinkling stars now, walking a path that glowed brighter with every step. The air was alive with music, not just the star's melody, but a chorus of tiny sounds like bells, harps, and the rustle of leaves all blending together. The sky above was a dazzling swirl of light, with stars so close they seemed to wink at Eli, as if sharing a secret. Flicker chirped happily on his shoulder, its glow pulsing in time with the melody. And Eli felt a warmth in his chest, like the feeling of coming home after a long day. But the shadow was still there, lingering at the edges of the path. It wasn't dark or threatening, but it carried a weight, like a sigh that hadn't been let out. Each time it appeared, the melody faltered, and Eli's heart ached. "We're almost there," he told Flicker, his voice soft but sure. "I know it." The path led them to a hill, and at its top stood a tree unlike any other. Its trunk was made of silver light, and its branches stretched toward the sky, each one holding a tiny star that glowed and sang. The melody was loudest here, wrapping around Eli like a hug. But it was tinged with sadness, like a song that had forgotten its ending. At the base of the tree stood the shimmering figure Eli had seen before, now clearer. It was a woman, tall and graceful, with hair that flowed like a river of light. Her eyes were kind but tired, and she held a staff that pulsed with the same glow as the stars. Eli's heart skipped a beat. "Are you the great star weaver?" he asked, his voice trembling with awe. The woman smiled, a smile that felt like moonlight on a quiet night. "I am," she said, her voice soft and musical, like the melody itself. "And you, Eli, are a brave starfarer. The stars have been waiting for you." Eli's eyes widened. "Me? But I'm just me." Flicker chirped, as if to say, "You're more than that." The star weaver knelt, her eyes level with Eli's. "You have a heart that listens," she said. "That is why the star called you. Its song is fading, and it needs your help to shine again." Eli clutched the wooden star, his mind racing. "Why is it fading? What's wrong?" The star weaver's smile faded, and she gestured to the tree. "Long ago, I wove the stars into the sky, giving each one a song to share joy and hope. But over time, some songs have grown quiet. The star you heard is one of the oldest, and its song is tied to the hearts of those who listen. When people stop listening, when they forget to dream, its light dims." Eli thought of Lumora, of the villagers gathered under the stars, telling stories. He thought of Mira, who believed in his dreams, and his parents, who always encouraged him. "But I'm listening," he said. "I heard the star. Doesn't that count?" The star weaver's eyes sparkled. "It does, Eli. Your heart is keeping the song alive, but to make it strong again, you must share its story. You must remind others to listen, to dream, to love." She pointed to the wooden star in Eli's hand. "That star holds a piece of your heart. Use it to carry the song back to your world." Eli looked at the wooden star, its surface glowing faintly now, as if it had always been part of the sky. He felt a surge of courage, but also a flicker of doubt. What if I can't do it? What if no one listens? The shadow appeared again, heavier now, and the melody wavered. Flicker nuzzled his cheek, and the star weaver placed a hand on his shoulder, her touch warm and steady. "You are not alone," she said. "The stars are with you, and so are those you love. Trust in your heart, Eli, and the song will find its way." The shadow began to fade, and the melody grew stronger, as if Eli's determination was feeding it. He took a deep breath, nodding. "I'll try. I'll share the song." The star weaver smiled, and the tree above them blazed with light. The stars on its branches sang louder, their voices weaving into a chorus that filled the air with joy. Flicker danced in circles, chirping wildly, and Eli laughed, his heart soaring. The star weaver handed him a tiny, glowing seed, no bigger than a pebble. "Plant this in your world," she said. "It will grow into a tree of stars, reminding everyone to listen." Eli tucked the seed into his bag, next to his mother's bread and the wooden star. "Thank you," he said, his voice full of gratitude. The star weaver stood, her staff glowing brightly. "The path will take you home," she said. "But the journey never truly ends. Keep listening, Eli, and the stars will always guide you." With a final wave, Eli and Flicker turned back to the path, the melody now a joyful and soaring tune that made Eli's steps feel light as air. The shadow was gone, and the sky was brighter than ever, alive with stars that seemed to cheer him on. As he walked, the world around him began to shift, the glowing stones fading into the familiar grass of Lumora. The melody softened, but it stayed with him, a quiet hum in his heart. When Eli reached the hill behind his house, the sun was just rising, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. He was home. Flicker chirped a soft goodbye and vanished in a puff of light. But Eli knew it wasn't really gone. It was part of the stars now. He ran to the house, bursting through the door. "Mama, Papa, Mira," he called, his voice bubbling with excitement. "Lila, Amos." And Mira rushed to him, their faces lighting up. "Eli," Mira squealed, throwing her arms around him. "Did you find the star?" Eli grinned, holding up the wooden star and the glowing seed. "I did," he said, "and I brought its song back." That evening, the villagers gathered in the town square, and Eli told his story. He spoke of the glowing path, the singing lake, and the great star weaver. He shared the star's song, his voice soft and clear, and the villagers listened, their eyes wide with wonder. When he finished, he planted the seed in the center of the square, and to everyone's amazement, it sprouted into a tiny tree, its leaves glowing like stars. From that day on, Lumora was never the same. The tree grew, and its light reminded everyone to listen to the stars, to dream, and to love. Eli's family grew closer, their evenings filled with stories and laughter. Mira even started her own adventures, always with her bunny by her side. And Eli, he never stopped listening. Each night, he'd sit on the hill, the wooden star in his hand, and hear the melody. Now, strong and joyful, singing of hope and connection. And so, dear friend, our journey ends for now, but the stars are still there, waiting for you to listen. Close your eyes, let the melody linger, and know that you, like Eli, have a heart full of wonder. Sleep well, dream big, and maybe, just maybe, you'll hear a star sing your name.